That is interesting and a new feature. All right, guys, it is the last Wednesday of the month. So the month is not over. I would definitely say, like, don't stop pushing for your goals. I know a lot of you were just on an awesome diamond call I heard about, which sorry I missed it, but I will watch the recording. Um, but yeah, don't give up because I feel like the end of the month, especially when you're starting out as a new coach, is really where you prove to yourself what is important to you. And I'm not even saying like success club. It could literally be helping one person. It could be holding your rank. It could be making $50. Whatever that looks like for you, you got to decide. But as somebody that has won pretty big in the Take Action Challenge this past week, all I can say is don't freaking stop doing the activities that are aligned to those prizes because I want someone else on this team to freaking win. Just a reminder, we did a team call on the Take Action Challenge earlier this month. So most of the team calls are all put on my YouTube page, and you guys can go back and watch them at any time. So main thing is having a bod group, inviting new people to it, doing the daily activity tracker, basic stuff. It's all in the Coach on the online office. And I swear I'm doing nothing special or magical or anything like that. I'm literally just helping new people, adding them to my bod groups, continually reaching out. Um, so that's my magical tips on that. Do the things. Any other announcements? Oh, 9 Week Control Freak is now on BOD. So that's a great way for people to get the accessories bundle with a completion pack at the end of the month because we all know you can't do Control Freak without the equipment. And it's a great way for them to try the performance line because to me, you need to recover and energize to do it. Just a little way to push things. And then you guys saw all the new announcements we talked about last week and the date of 645 coming out. So we know that the end of June, the new Shakeology flavor will be coming too. So again, that's another thing to pay attention to start thinking about. You can do fun polls about it on your stories. It's going to be gluten-free. So that's a really, really big opportunity to reach out to anybody that's gluten-free and just talk to them about how's your nutrition going after Memorial Day weekend. I think that was all the announcements that,
I'm gonna add one.
yeah.
So, okay, yeah, cookies and creamy, which I'm gonna call that cookies and cream and mistake it constantly. I'm definitely gonna mess that up. 22nd it's officially posted, and then I posted in the hub, but I want to mention it again for the call. I'm doing 3-day refresh before my early honeymoon, and I'm making it into a test group for the whole week. So the way that works, you can pick your 3 days that work best for you. And this is also an awesome thing to invite to keep people active in your downline. So maybe they have enough Shakeology for 2 months and they skip their order, so they're listed as an active. Throw them into a 3-day refresh test group. Now's a great time to purchase that so that they get it in time for the mid-June dates, and that helps reactivate some of your downline for rank advancements too. So just a little tip there. I think that's all I had though. Oh, and then I guess we can just reiterate there's still 2 spots open for our summit coach trip. So that gives you plenty of time to make that a financial goal for your business too, and just commit to it, make it happen. But we are going to have an awesome time. It's one of those things where it's like the train is going, are you going to get on? We're pumped for it. So that's all I had to add.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say about Arizona is I know a lot of people are flying in Wednesday, but maybe that's an issue for you and that's holding you back from like taking Wednesday off from coming. If you can only take off Thursday, Friday, fly out early Thursday morning and like come. Like we want the more the merrier there and we'll totally work with you. That's typically how Summit is anyways, and I just wanted to like mention that as another option. The last thing I'm going to say is that from this past Monday is the 6 week countdown to 645 launch, which is why a lot of us started 6 weeks of the work this week. So put that date, big circle. We're going to do a massive test group for that. It's going to kick off Summit. It's going to just like ignite everything for the rest of the year, I feel. So keep that in the back of your mind as we're going through these next 6 weeks. Maybe you're trying a few of the workouts if you've never done 6 weeks of the work before. That is my recommendation as a group fitness instructor on how to prepare for that program. Because y'all know I am all about those prep calendars, and that would be what I would tell you. You could also have somebody try the 6 weeks of the prep is another option if they want to build up to that. I think a lot of people forget about
And performance line, performance line, performance line with everything Amwala.
I know Morgan Julius and I were like, I can't sit on the toilet seat without it hurting today.
It
It's
literally hurts to sit anywhere. It's awful.
all I can say is if you've never tried Recharge, this is the time to incorporate it. It is highly underestimated. And I live by that stuff, especially on these kind of workouts. So if you love Energize and Recover, add a little extra in. All right. So tonight is pretty much an open forum. I know that I'm happy to start off and share, but I think the cool thing about all of our teams is that we all work full time and we coach part time, right? That's why that a lot of us really enjoy this community and being a part of it, because it's not just the workouts, it's not just the performance line. Like that's not really why we are all here on this call, right? We're here because this coaching community has impacted bigger aspects of our lives, and I don't think that we always talk about that publicly. So for one, I think the stories that we share tonight you should keep in your back pocket as things you can talk about on your own social media about what happens in your team and how to show off other people and what they're doing in their lives and who you're surrounding yourself with, but also reminding yourself how much coaching really can impact so many other areas of your life when you don't stop, right? When you continue to show up, when you continue to lean in. There's just so many things. So I'll kind of kick it off, and then I want you guys to each go around and kind of share how has coaching and the things that you've done in this community really impacted your careers and your family life. That's kind of what this call has been all about, because you're going to attract people like you, right? So you guys might not have known me from 3 years ago, but I was in the middle of kind of figuring out how to build my team. And at work, I was getting shot down. I would literally work till 1 in the morning on deadlines, and I would come in the next day on my team, and my boss would say thank you to the other two girls on my team and nothing to me. Literally would call them out like, thank you, X person, and say nothing else to me. So you can imagine time and time again when you're staying up late, when you're having no life during the week, when you're not sleeping, and then, oh, right, let's get up at 5, 6 a.m. and work out, how I was trying to feel about my life and let alone my career, let alone coaching, was very difficult. But those moments really drove me to start taking this more seriously, because at work, I wasn't getting the recognition, the appreciation, the things that you look for when you put in a lot of hard work. But I saw that once I went to a really big Super Saturday with Autumn and Carl, I saw what this coaching thing could do for me when I allowed myself to lean into it and when I did the work my way. And what happened is November 3 years ago now, I actually had a family health scare, and I had been thinking about moving back from Atlanta to Philadelphia for a while. And I just got tired of being shit on, to be honest. And so I had to go into my boss's office and tell them that I wanted to work remotely for a few months because I had no other job lined up, and I needed to, like, my lease was going to be up in a month and a half or something, and like there was a couple other things that were ending at that same time. And I went into their office and I said I'd like to work remotely for a couple months until I switched to another job. In architecture, you don't do that pre-COVID. Like, it is very corporate. It is very, you are in your seat from 8 a.m. to whatever time, and that's it. And you better be there. And you know what they told me? They said no. And the next week before Thanksgiving, I literally was like, inside, the anxiety in me was so, so big. And I was like, you know what? F this. I'm going back in that office. I know I have Beachbody income, but it is nowhere near my salary. And I'm going to tell them why I deserve to have this job. And the only reason, guys, that I was able to have confidence to do that is because I was doing personal development. I was showing up to team calls. I was leaning into my workouts as that like energy to lift me up. I was surrounding myself with better people. I was inviting and talking to people. I was getting on lives in the hub and like talking about the shit I was going through in a way that was like, this is how I'm working through it, how I'm using it for good. And you know what? I went back in there and said, I've been here for 5 years. I know everybody's name in this office. You know how the work ethic I have, and you're going to let me do this for 4 months. And they said, okay, we'll give it to you for a month or two on a month to month basis, and that's it. And you know what happened on month 4? This girl had 5 offers in Philadelphia that I had no connections with, and they were begging me to stay. So that is power of believing in yourself, not giving up, attending events, because hopefully those things are coming back very strongly soon. Like I spent so like this is why Summit is non-negotiable for me. This is why every single thing I can earn is non-negotiable for me, because it's not just Mexico, guys. It's an experience that enhances the person that I am. So that's a little piece of my story and my career. And also I went through furlough last year and I would have never lasted through that. So that's another whole story, but I won't take the whole call. So Jess, I'm going to tag you it because I know you want to share.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's had a huge impact on my career too. And I don't think everyone knows this story. So I'm just going to give it to y'all, and then you can obviously ask us questions and have anyone else who's open to sharing. So I graduated college, chemical engineering, and went into the industry straight in with ExxonMobil doing technical work. I was sitting at a desk doing like simulations, like I still had my college textbooks out at my desk because it was that related to my degree. And I realized I really didn't love that. So within the company, I asked to go into marketing. I wanted more people interaction. I wanted something that had more variety in the day to day because these projects were like 3 months long. So I was doing the same thing kind of every day. And our careers were determined by our supervisors. So my boss said, they're going under some reorg. Let's put you somewhere else first. I'd rather not put you there right now. I ended up in logistics, and a year and a half later went by in logistics. I did well, and it was career discussion time again. And they said, here's where we have you, analyst role next, then something in commercial, then this and that. And I was like, I still want to go into marketing. And it's like, was a shock to my boss, and was like, oh, well, I need to start working on that now. It'll be 3 to 5 years. And I was pissed because I'd already been put into something else. And now I'm putting into something else that who knows when it'll come. And I felt like this carrot was just constantly being dangled. And I was in this trap of corporate America, of just working every day, looking at the clock until when it's time to leave. And I wasn't happy. I was thinking every day about, when am I going to have kids so I can quit this shit and be full-time stay-at-home mom and full-time coach? Like I was picturing that lifestyle. And one of the things of being in the logistics side of the business is I was marketed by certain companies that I use their services. And I'm sure, I know Sarah's got her camera off, but she's probably thinks it's funny. So the company I work for now is one of the companies that I was using the services for. So there's a lot of competitors. I was using all 4 or 5 of them from the major side. And they would take you out lunches and dinners, try and continue to earn a big chunk of your business. So I was out at lunch with a girl named Stephanie from my company. And she and I were just talking, not even business related, like, what do you do in your free time? Beachbody coaching came up. She was actually interested in getting into a health and fitness routine. So I talked about how passionate I was about it. I did this whole spiel. She's like, I'm sold. And she became a challenger like within a few months. And she also finished that conversation to go, have you ever thought about doing what I do? And I was like, no. But I realized really quickly in that moment that she's basically marketing. She's selling a service that she has a stake in making improvements on. Does that sound like coaching? And I'm like, I have these skills from 2.5 years of coaching that didn't come from a degree, and that might actually get me a job that I'm going to enjoy and have more fun and put me in a position outside of this trap that I feel like I'm in right now. So I did a little bit of more soul searching. A month later, I submitted my resume. And within 5 weeks, I had my offer on the table and my 2 weeks resignation submitted. It was crazy. And I was super transparent with my new hire process of like, I have this side business. There was never any issues. It was all like super encouraging. Without this Beachbody, I would have never gotten this job. And then within my career now at 2.5 years on the other side, it's been really helpful with small talk. Like I'm entertaining customers from all age range, all backgrounds. What do we do when we're talking to people in the DMs? Like you find a way to relate to people no matter what. And that has helped my business, making people comfortable on the other side. And it's also really helped with confidence, the same way with Danielle, of asking for what I want. So I've come into this from the outside. They don't typically have a lot of engineers in this side of the business. And I really felt that I'd identified a gap for them. Thanks, Sarah. And I was like, I think that you guys need someone to oversee these two parts of the company. And I basically ran it by like a mentor within the company. And he said, I think it's a great idea, run for it. I talked about it to the COO. It's kind of crazy because it's a smaller company. And he said, awesome, who do you think should do it? And I was like, me. And it took a year. COVID got in the way of HR stuff, but I got a role that I created for myself. And it never would have happened without the confidence to be like, I know what strengths I have. I know I can contribute. And I know this is going to make a difference in how to actually approach that. So overall, it's been, as far as career and corporate, a 180 flip, because now we talk about having kids and I'm like, I really like my job. Like, how are we going to make that work? I have a different vision for that life now because of the situation I'm in, and it still excites me. And coaching is still a part of it. So that's a little bit of my story. Who's next?
Also, these don't have to be like huge, big stories. It's just
No.
obviously Jess and I have been in this a little bit longer, so it's a little bit easier to see the big shifts.
I feel like if Sarah's in a place where she can unmute herself, she's going to talk about the ability to like set boundaries, and what coaching has done for her personal life and family life with related to work. Maybe she'll have to tune in after the kids are like set, but yeah, I would love for her to talk about that.
Anyone else want to step up and share? I know y'all have had some positive impact on your life that somebody else on the team might not know.
I'll share.
Jamie?
I think for me, it's just been really good to be inspired to grow as a person, like in wellness as a whole. I mean, going after it and being relatable and learning, I think it's all a huge process. So I think that's been really awesome for me.
Jamie, can you share what you do for work? Maybe we should have been a little bit more direct about that too.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm a physician assistant. So I work in family medicine and general surgery. So I'm pretty stuck. Like, I don't really have any like where else I could go besides like admin, which I'm already kind of helping out with. So yeah, it's fun to have this on the side because I'm really passionate about health. And it's nice to be surrounded by people that actually care about it too, because you have a lot of patients that like say that they are, but they don't do anything about it. So it's nice to have that.
Love that. Super proud of you for sharing. Sarah?
Hey, sorry, it was crazy. My parents are moving. So I just spent like the last 6 hours in 95-degree heat, moving all their stuff onto a 26-foot truck, which I could not have done for that long if I didn't start coaching and working out. But whew. Yeah, I mean, it has, especially for COVID, right? I mean, So I work at the same company as Jess, but I am right now the contracts and bids manager for North America, and I manage our bids globally. Sometimes we kind of share roles, us and the Far East team, but so I started at our position like by accident. I wanted to move to Virginia to be by my boyfriend, who's now my husband, and just got like a job that I thought I'd be there for a few months, and now I'm here. It'll be 9 years this summer, and I started in like an ad position, and I've worked in 4 locations and worked my way up, you know, pretty quickly, but that definitely took a lot of sacrifice for taking care of myself. I got my master's degree while I was working and had 2 babies. So basically anything, time for me, health and fitness, any work boundary whatsoever was just gone. Like it didn't matter if my phone binged at like 1 a.m. I was up. Especially now because I report directly to the COO. He's my direct boss. So when COVID hit and we were home full time, I said a quote last week. I was listening to a podcast. We were no longer working from home. We were living at work. And that's what I was doing. I was now living at work, working more hours than I ever had before. So a big thing this year, my word for 2021 too, is boundaries, and that it's okay to take care of myself. And if I'm up working at 7 and drop the kids off and I have 3 conference calls in the afternoon, it's okay that I work out at 10 a.m. because that's the time I can take an hour break, and I'm working from home, and none of that would have happened without coaching. Actually, my boss, the COO, started following my coach Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, he's gonna see me post my workout at 10 a.m. But you know, but this has given me a lot of confidence in controlling my calendar, which has been big from personal development, controlling my time and understanding that, you know, to be a good mom, to be a good worker, to be a good wife. Today's our wedding anniversary too, and we spent it sweating and loading up a truck. But you know, all of that is going to be taking care of me, and that, you know, has really become like the number one priority in my life, is taking care of me in the last 6 months. So yeah, 8 years today.
Let me add this on for Sarah, because you guys, she says all of this now. She's been a coach for 5.5 months. I talked to her about coaching, I don't know, 3-4 times. And every time it was like, Jess, you know our jobs, you know our life. Like, I don't have time. I don't have time. And to hear now the reflection and just the perspective change and the actions that she's taken to say, I choose the way my time is spent. Like, this is
yeah. No one I work been like, hello, you know, like you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Like, if anything, I'm more efficient because I'm more cognizant of when I'm choosing to do things and to get everything done. So yeah, it's been huge. And it's only been 5 months, which is also insane because it feels like we've all known each other forever.
So when someone gives you the time excuse, you know who to go to for a testimonial. Just saying. Awesome, Sarah. That's so great. And I would agree with the efficiency thing and boundaries. And like, I went from email on my phone 24/7 in Atlanta to both my jobs in Philly. I don't have email on my phone, and it's the most glorious thing ever. Just saying.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I know everyone can do that, but certain boundaries.
Yeah, I've learned to not check it. You know, it's okay. It doesn't sleep right next to me. It's no longer the first thing I do when I wake up either. So I start my day.
She saw me on vacation. She's like, "You're getting a call," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Emily, Morgan, y'all want to share what you do for work and how coaching? I know Morgan just hit a big goal today, so I might be putting her on the spot a little bit. Give her a second. Morgan hit Success Starters because I know other Morgan, her coach, could not be on tonight. So huge props to you. That's a big accomplishment, and it means we are going to get some inside scoop into whatever test group she has in the future. So we're going to be knocking on your door, asking you to tell us all the things. So tell us what you do. Tell us how coaching has helped you in, I guess, the first couple of months.
I don't do anything special. I don't have a good career like the rest of you do. I actually had a really good job last year. Finally found something that I really, really enjoyed. And about 6-9 months in, whatever it was, I was laid off because of COVID. And actually, that's right when I started Beachbody. So I actually did my first Beachbody workout March 18th of 2020. It was the day after I was laid off. And I don't think I could have made it through last year without working out. I was doing 2 programs at one time just to keep myself occupied and just to keep myself going. So Beachbody in that way has saved me. I will say I'm an admin for a real estate agent. I work for 2 different offices and kind of the in-between person for accounting and the agents. So nothing special, but I will say that because my job's not strenuous, it does give me a lot of extra time to work on this coaching business, which is why I think I've had so much success in the past 4 months. So that's really it.
Thank you for sharing. And I can totally relate to that. Like having a purpose when life is stripped away from you. Since I was on furlough last year, you guys have no idea how special this is until your world completely crumbles and you're like, whoa, I have like 10 hours. What do I do with myself? And you would think that that is a huge gift, but it is not always. And you always want more time and you want more freedom, but it's kind of like what Sarah was saying, like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden we're at home, we're living around work all the time now. It's like too much of something is never a good thing, right? But I will say the same thing as Morgan, like I would have never made it through furlough without the purpose of my business and having y'all to show up to and people watching me, right? When you start sharing your journey, they're watching you. So if you don't show up, you start getting DMs like, where you at, girl? So I love that.
I'm going to go back to Morgan because we're just making this a casual conversation. So Morgan started back then as a challenger, and I think you were with a different coach, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
can you
was.
talk about like the journey of coaching and bringing in a community that you're connected with, how that's related to like your personal growth or other areas of your life? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because actually Morgan and I were just talking about this last night, so she watches this. So I started last year with a different coach. I had been watching her for months, which is what I tell people now. I'm like, if you're watching, just do it, because I literally watched her for months. Started with her. She wasn't very interactive. I never heard from her. Like I keep calling them their posse, because she had like 6 girls that she only talked to, and it was like all of her videos were about them. It was all about them and like never included anyone else. And I didn't feel like I had a community. I felt like it was just me, myself, and I working out. And I obviously stuck with it for a long time. I mean, it was almost a year, but I liked my workouts, and I don't know. I sometimes doubt myself, but it's like I had enough motivation or determination in myself to keep going without her. So obviously there's something in me that kept me. So anyway, I finally decided that was enough. I wanted something more. I didn't want to coach. I had told my old coach that I didn't want to. She asked me a few times. I finally jumped on one of their calls. And let me just tell you, it's nothing like your guys' call. So you guys are doing something right, because it was awful compared to what you guys are doing. You guys are great. So anyway, I told her no, didn't want to do that. Then I found Morgan by accident. It was super, super random. And I was like, okay, I'm switching to you. I stalked her Instagram for like a day, and I was like, I want you. Like, you're my person. I want you as my coach. And she was like, okay, do you want to coach? And I was like, no, like, what do you people don't understand? Like, I don't want to coach. I just want to work out. She's like, no, you should coach. Like, you'll be good at it. And I was like, okay, fine. And here we are. I don't know, 4 or 5 months later, I don't know. This all just happened really fast. So the community is huge. I can't, just seeing all you guys in these calls and everyone talks, everyone's happy, everyone's supportive. It's really, really big. So
You guys are like, I love your guys' relationship, because I obviously know Morgan well from being on my team. And she messaged me, she goes, Jess, I think I have a problem. And she's gonna watch this recording and be like, I can't believe you said this. But she's like, I'm like low-key obsessed with her. Like, I love Morgan.
I call her like my best friend. Like I haven't even met the girl yet. Seriously, she's coming to my house in 2 weeks, but like I've never met her, and I love her to death.
Can you please come to Phoenix, Arizona with us?
I can't. I'm busy that weekend. I really wanted
Change those
to.
plans.
I know.
Oh, but yeah, you guys, it's like, you know, how people give couples names, like they need to be like MJ squared. Like, I don't
I
know.
know. Yeah. Anyway, find yourself a coach you love, which obviously you all do. So I'm just trying to be that coach that, because I love Morgan so much. Like I just want them to like me too.
Just keep being yourself and your people will like you, you know?
Yes, I know.
I want to
Ellen?
piggyback off that though, because I didn't know Jess. I was the lead, right? And like once I signed up, there was a couple other girls that were like, I do Beachbody, like come join me. And I was like, no. Like I felt drawn to Jess, even though I never met her, and bringing me into this community. And at first, you know, it was Transformation Nation, which like some of you may still be in that group. And then as soon as Jess like pulled us into the hub, I was like, okay, this is it. Like, I'm not going anywhere. Which I think is just a true testament to this community. It's that awesome. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but I guess I can share what I do. So I am in between jobs. Right now, I'm an early childhood educator. I'm a preschool teacher for the last decade. Actually worked at the same spot. Like I don't think anyone stays at the same job for a decade anymore, but I did. I started when I was a teenager, and I worked my way up. Like I started thinking I was going to go to school for something else. And then I fell in love with it and held like every position there. And I will say that like the skills that I learned there, like have definitely helped me realize like what I need to bring to coaching. But the one thing that I will say about Beachbody is that like it's about the relationship building. It's about taking care of yourself and putting yourself first, because I work with children. Like if I don't bring my best self, like nobody benefits. And it's so powerful to like be able to share what it means to take care of your health, your mental health, your physical health, and you bring that into young children's minds and they take that with them forever, you know. You have to start that basis there. So that's really you know, they can tell a difference. Like when you show up and you've read your, you know, personal development and like you're on a high from that, like they benefit from it as well. So that's what I bring into my job from this.
I love it. And of course, we've gotten to meet in person since then. That was so fun. I'll be bringing a deck of cards. Don't worry. Oh man. I would love to hear anyone else's like experience. And even Allie with like late nights and moving to taking a day less from her full-time job, like that's such an amazing, but I feel like if she's got her screen off, she's handling some sort of mom duty or something. I just like, Danielle, does this whole call make you reflect on literally our trip when we were like sitting having drinks talking about the hub?
Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, Jess and Morgan came to visit me in October, and it was basically when I like didn't have any friends around me. So I was like, friends, what is this? But we had been struggling with just like how our communities were building and where we were at in our businesses. And it's just really cool to hear all of you. Some of you didn't even know how things were before, but some of you did, and it doesn't really matter. But just seeing y'all all come together and know that we all have highs and lows in our lives, right? And especially our careers are super demanding. It's hard to be a woman in 2021, right? Like, and trying to juggle all of these different things, whether it's your spouse, your kids, your dog, your friendships, your whatever. And I really think that that's what has stuck with me for so long with coaching. It's like, no matter what else is going in my life, there's a deep purpose here. And like even just hearing Emily talk about like how that impacts the kids in her life. Like when my niece was born, that made, I mean, I'm not a mom yet, but like it made me really think differently about what example I want to set for her, you know? And I think that resonates with a lot of us, whether we have kids or not. But it's just cool to see that vision appreciated and understood as what we all needed and wanted more of, because I think it's very easy to think like, oh, if I'm not a top 10 coach and I'm not, you know, doing this full time, then it's not even worth pursuing. And that's such BS, guys, right? Like my entire life would not even exist in about 95% of my friends if I did not stick with coaching. So I think that in itself just says a lot about just keep going. Even if when you didn't find your people yet, they're going to come. Sorry, I have a bug. It's just like Morgan said, be that person that shows up and is Morgan for her Morgan, you know, the next MJ. She's out there. There's somebody else out there that has those things. But I would challenge all of you to make a post this week about what you shared here tonight, because I don't think that we talk about coaching in this way. And that's exactly why you are coaching. That's why we wanted to do this call tonight, to remind you like, wow, this really does impact how I do my job, how I have boundaries on my job, how I figured out COVID in my job, you know, like I say it all the time, like our team was already doing everything people are now doing in 2020 and 2021 before even COVID existed. Like nothing changed in our health and wellness realm through this past year. That's pretty freaking cool. Nothing changed in my personal development routine. Like that constant in your life is so special. And I think sometimes we take it for granted. And that's why I see coaches pull back when life gets hard, when really it's the routine and the consistency and the community that you build through sticking with it that brings the joy, right? Any other closing thoughts, Jess?
How do I say anything after that? I mean, mic drop. Yeah, no, seriously, I think we had that like quick chain for the coaches of saying like what, you know, was one of your favorite things about coaching, and not a single person said the income, right? Like that is, it's a great perk and there's so many things that come with coaching, but like we, I think sometimes forget to share, like Danielle was just saying, of the sort of intangible things that coaching has impacted in our life. The relationships. I mean, I look at my wedding invite list and I'm like, well, without coaching, what friends would I have? You know, like it's kind of funny. And it reminds me of the girl who, you know, I look back at like myself in elementary, middle school, even some of high school, I'm like, I'm not friends with girls. Like girls are drama, girls are bitchy, girls are just like not, they're cliquey, like they're not my crew. And when I went to college, I found a sorority that I felt really understood me. And that was the first time I was like, oh, but not all girls are like that. And then I didn't have my sorority after college. And I was like, oh, I really miss this. I miss my girls. I miss having these conversations in this community, and enter coaching. And it became something that was so awesome, was the women understood the working, the wanting to be better, the commitment of your own health and fitness journey. And then I love the fact that people are all over the US, because I have the travel bug to infinity and beyond. And it's like, I'll travel, I'll come visit. Let me drink all the beer you have in your town. So yeah, this coaching business has just been incredible. And we have to continue to share that, to let other people know whatever story they've created in their head about what coaching is, they might be missing this part of it that could actually have such a huge impact for their lives and translate more than just the health and fitness, right? Like we opened up by talking about our careers, and that is a huge part of a lot of our lives. You know, you think about 8 hours a day, right? So Oh, I'm like sweaty. I got like so excited during this call. Like sweating, doing the Keisha Fitzgerald sweating in weird places kind of thing. But yeah, I'm excited. It's just been so much support. I think that's the biggest thing.
And that can go the trajectory of your life through every season. I think that's the last thing I'll leave you guys with. You know, I've seen my team change over the years. They went through like the bridal girls to the moms, and they really transition these seasons of life. But there's space here for everybody, no matter what your season of life or timeline looks like. And I think that inclusivity is intangible but needs to continue to be shared on a massive level. So I can't wait to see y'all's post this week talking about how your career has been impacted or somebody else on this call impacted you that you might not know about. And we have some awesome calls planned for June. I'm not going to give them away yet, but the team calendar will be up soon and it's going to be awesome. Allie, did you want to share anything last minute since we got you on here?
Sorry, Grayson came and tried to get in bed with me. So like how coaching's changed my work life, is that?
Yeah,
Okay.
how it impacted your career.
So I know I've told most of you guys know this story and I've heard it over and over again, but I switched jobs about a year ago just because I wasn't happy in my old job. It was too stressful. And that was before I started coaching. Oh, the puppy. Anyway, sorry, just easily distracted.
Mom brain.
Yeah, pregnancy brain and mom brain. But I made it a goal for myself when I started coaching to take Fridays off of work. So I normally worked 5 days. I'm supposed to work 5 8-hour days a week as a healthcare provider. But I said, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. I want a day off with Grayson. So I made that my goal when I started coaching. And 4 months in, I was at that goal. And able to meet that financially. I do still work on Fridays occasionally because I still like that adrenaline rush of my old job. But after baby number 2 comes, it's no more. And I don't feel bad about it. I have leaned into coaching and allowed that to propel me forward and give me that confidence to say it's okay to not work on Fridays. My biggest goal I've decided in the last couple of weeks is I would like to go down to 3 days a week. When baby number 2, not.
Guys, she
not
hasn't even
immediately.
told me this.
No, it's a surprise. I would like more time at home if possible, which I know it's possible with my mind in the right place. But if you lean into this journey, which I never thought I'd be here, Jamie's probably the only one who and Sarah know me before coaching, but I was not a extroverted person. I never thought I'd be talking on calls or anything like that. So it's really opened me up to new opportunities and allow me to be the person that I'm truly supposed to be. So if you just lean into coaching and trust the process, which I was hesitant at first, I'm not going to lie, but if you just trust and believe that you're here for a reason and good things will come to you, then they will come.
And don't give up on your discount coaches like Allie, who sat for 3 years.
That's right. You never know.
So that's a good reminder, guys, as we're going up to Summit and these other cool things coming out. Is like, don't forget to love on your current people, check in on them, ask how they're doing, ask them about coaching again, ask them to get on a coach sneak peek. You never know, like Morgan said, when the time might be right? All it takes is that one person to completely change your purpose in your business too. Because I will say, there's no way I'd be hitting my goals the past year if it wasn't for Allie hitting hers. And she's my PS coach. So sometimes those people in your downline inspire you more than you think, but you never know if they're there unless you talk to them. So, all right, guys, good call. June is coming up. Don't you dare give up on your goals if you're still fighting for them. Use the pod this weekend. We're here to help. And we have some exciting stuff coming for an Emerald push. I know Morgan Jones is working on for June. So stay tuned for that. Finish out the Diamond Dash strong. I love you guys. And I hope you have a fabulous Memorial Day weekend and your Monday off. Bye, guys.